Day 6 of the Democrat engineered DHS shutdown, and Chuck Schumer's gang is literally holding America's security hostage to protect criminal illegal aliens, because that's all they care about. While ICE agents sit idle and dangerous criminals roam free, Democrats are playing the most cynical political game imaginable. But what they don't want you to know about their real motives will shock you. So this isn't just political theater. This is about your family's safety. Every day this shutdown continues, ICE cannot arrest the violent criminals Tom Homan's team have identified. Your neighborhood becomes less safe while Democrats are virtue signaling. Socially, we're watching the complete inversion of American values, a major political party choosing foreign criminals over American citizens. Politically, this exposes the Democrat Party's true priorities. They'd rather see Americans hurt than give Trump a win on immigration. And they're not betting you won't notice the crime surge that follows or that you'll blame Trump instead of their obstruction. But while Democrats create the security crisis, there's another story breaking that the mainstream media is completely ignoring. We have breaking news that is breaking quietly, and most people missed it. While headlines focused on the shutdown drama, the Trump administration just released a document that could fundamentally reshape the U.S. mining sector. And this is real, and it's unfolding right now under Executive Order 14241. This goes far beyond typical policy. We're talking about America reclaiming control of critical resources that China has dominated for decades. The timing is not coincidental, and while Democrats obstruct border security, Trump is securing our economic future through domestic mining independence. And Vizsla Copper has been tracking these developments, and their analysis shows this could trigger the biggest shift in American resource strategy since the 1970s. And the implications for American manufacturing, national security, and energy independence are massive. Smart investors are already positioning themselves. So get the full breakdown at VizslaCopper.com, and we're going to get back to the Democrat hostage situation again. So here's what this makes us like even more dangerous. Tom Homan just proved the system works when Democrats get out of the way. Minnesota Tim Walz's own state is now cooperating with ICE operations. Finally, it took a lot of threats, but local jails are working with federal agents, and arrests of dangerous criminals are happening efficiently and safely. But instead of celebrating the success, Schumer shuts down the entire department. Of course they will, and they're going to blame Trump for it. How dare you? So government and partial shutdown over DHS, and Democrats are the reason for no good reason other than the Democrats wanting to pick a fight with Donald Trump. We got Caroline Levitt. Let's see.
One more on the shutdown. We're now in this partial shutdown over DHS funding. Has the president personally spoken to the Democratic leaders in Congress? Can we expect to see them at the White House to try to make a deal on this?
Not to my knowledge. He hasn't had any direct conversation or correspondence with Democrat lawmakers recently. It doesn't mean he's not willing to. I'm just not aware of any conversations that have taken place. I do know the White House and the president's representatives have been in direct conversations with both Democrats and Republicans. But of course, Democrats are the reason that the Department of Homeland Security is currently shut down. They have chosen to act against the American people for political reasons. And now we have FEMA workers, the men and women of the United States Coast Guard, men and women of TSA who keep our airports moving, who will be working without paychecks for no good reason other than the Democrats wanting to pick a fight with Donald Trump. And the president thinks that is irresponsible and despicable. He wants the government to be open. We've been engaged in good faith negotiations with the Democrats. Last night, they sent over a counter proposal that frankly was very unserious, and we hope they get serious very soon because Americans are going to be impacted by this.
And that's it. The Democrats don't care how it impacts us. And ICE has been funded through 2029. They're already funded for the next 4 years, but they're shutting the government down to stop ICE that's already been funded for 4 years. And they're only doing this because the TSA is going to cause long lines at the airports. The Coast Guard's not going to be able to rescue people. They shut FEMA down. They did this. Not only did that decision impact, airport wait times, but if there's a natural disaster, tornado, hurricanes, earthquakes, now forest fires, whatever, they don't want FEMA to respond. They want Americans to suffer because that's going to give them the talking points they need on the news. They don't care about you or your family. They want illegal immigrants to be let out of jail so they don't get arrested, so they don't get taken out of the country. They don't care. They want those people to be counted towards their census votes so they can have more apportionment in the Congress. They don't care about your family's safeties. So this sets up the blame game perfectly. Now watch how Democrats are demanding action while pointing fingers right back at Republicans. Of course, because that's all they can do. From Bonewitz, he says, bring the DHS shutdown to a close. Let's see if we can zoom in on this. The Democrat shutdown costs the USA at least 2 points in GDP. That is a lot when you have a $20 trillion economy. And that's what they're doing it in mini form. Again, no shutdowns, also lower interest rates. Too late, Powell is the worst. President DJT. And Jerome Powell, I think, is out. We'll see. The call for quick resolution shows mounting pressure, but the real fireworks come when we hear the Democrats counterattack on ICE funding. We'll see how great this is. Oh, we got Dollar Tree Obama saying Republicans are to blame for the partial DHS shutdown. They would rather shut down FEMA, shut down TSA. We need 60 votes in the Senate to pass any kind of continuing resolution. Guess how many Republicans are in there? 51. We need 9 Democrats. If 100% of the Republicans vote and none of the Democrats do, it's the Democrat shutdown. They can't do math because they're being taught how to be socialist, manifesto people inside of school. They don't know math anymore. Let's see.
This is day 5 of the Trump Republican shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security. Why are we in this moment? It's because Republicans have decided that they would rather shut down FEMA, shut down TSA, and shut down the Coast Guard than get ICE under control. The American people know that ICE needs to be reined in.
No, you need to be
We
reined
believe
in.
that taxpayer dollars should be used to make your life more affordable, not to brutalize
But
or
he's doing that
kill
already.
American citizens in cold blood, like Renee Nicole Good or Alex Preddy, or to violently target law-abiding immigrant families, which we know is taking place all across America.
It's funny. If Dollar Tree Obama listened to actual Obama, Obama was the deporter in chief. He went through and he deported 3 million people in 4 years. He got rid of them back when it was kosher to do so. But Dollar Tree Obama here does not care. He's saying that they're doing this, that they killed American citizens in cold blood. One of the officers was almost ran over by the car, fired in self-defense. Another one, the guy was grabbing his pistol trying to go for it. These people will use anything because their voter base is stupid. They don't watch the news. They watch MSNBC. They'll read snippets from some crazy Cranstein brother or whatever online. Or what's that little kid that was running around pretending to love Obama or Biden or whatever? I forgot that kid's name. Let me know in the comments. So Jeffries just flipped the script completely. Now we're about to see how the GOP fires back with their strongest talking point about American safety. From Raymond N.G. saying, Schumer's partial government shutdown. Democrats want to risk the lives of Americans. Yes, they're going to risk it because they don't care. They want the votes. That's all they care about, the votes and the funding. Let's see.
It is not totally clear what the Democrats are hoping to get from the partial government shutdown. ICE is already fully funded, unfortunately. Now, this shutdown is actually targeting air travel, that's TSA, emergency responders, FEMA, the Coast Guard, Secret Service, and Democrats are now playing a very dangerous game. To what end? Here with more. Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. If you can explain this to me, I'd love to hear your explanation. But I do know this, and even CBS News reported it. Last year, 2025, 2,100 Americans were murdered by either convicted or people charged with illegal immigrants charged with killing Americans. 5,400 convicted or charged, again, illegal immigrants charged with either raping or sexually assaulting American citizens. Why don't the Democrats care about the names of those people?
Yeah, it's shocking to me, Sean, to hear them constantly speak on behalf of politics instead of the American people. And Americans are going to have a choice coming up here if they want to choose the Democrats' mass migration and infiltration of criminals, but not just criminals. We have thousands of known and suspected terrorists that the Biden administration let into this country. Or they can continue to choose President Trump, who's making our country safe again, who's making it more affordable for families to get into homes and to buy their groceries and put gas in their car. He's giving them safety back in their communities. And that's what the Department of Homeland Security does every single day. What Democrats have done by defunding this department is put our safety at risk right here on our own soil. We every day protect people in their communities, but also our cybersecurity is all through the Department of Homeland Security. Our Coast Guard is out doing interdictions on the water. We have stopped enough lethal doses of drugs from coming into this country that would have killed 1.7 billion people. That's what the department has done in conjunction with our law enforcement officers in protecting in just the last 12 months. And the Democrats are saying, no, we want to play politics and we want to risk the lives of Americans.
Well, if you look at just in the last number of days, we've had murderers, child molesters, an Iranian, national. We have people from over 200 countries. Do we even know the exact number of people that came into this country under Biden-Harris mayorkas?
I'm curious for this answer.
Unvetted from 200 countries?
We don't. It could be up to 15 to 20 million people, but it's not just the numbers, it's also who they let in. We know they let terrorists into this country. Every day, that's what keeps me awake at night, is that I haven't found them yet. I know they're here. We've arrested over 80 people from Iran already. We've arrested over 1,000 people that are on the known and suspected terrorist list just in the last.
All it takes is one terrorist person with a little bit of inclination to do whatever they want to do. And the range, it's anywhere from 15 to 20 million. That range is 5 million people, more than some states have in populations. Think about that. Think of how big a number of 1 million is. And the range of the people that they don't know is 5 million. That's bad. Those 5 million people that they don't even know what the cap is. They don't know how bad the numbers are. And they want to shut this down. And the DHS doesn't just deport people. They stop terrorists. They work on fun. They do so many things to safeguard our country. And they want to shut that down. They want Americans to feel scared and vulnerable is what they want. So Schumer's partial government shutdown. Democrats want to risk the safety of people. So anyways, Noam's safety argument builds the stakes. But here's where it gets interesting. ICE enforcement is actually showing wins on the ground that could change this entire debate. Real Tom Homan on the success in Minnesota. We've got more jails cooperating than ever before in that state. And all it took was Trump threatening them and cutting off some public funds and getting them to play ball. Let's see.
The president sent me up there to do three things: de-escalate, arrest illegal aliens with a priority on criminals and public safety threats, and gain cooperation. For over a decade, I've been talking about sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. So I went up there and talked to, Governor Walz, the AG. I talked to the mayor, and, we had a sit-down discussion. It says, if you don't want all these ICE agents in your city and your state, then let us send them to jail. The reason there's so many people on the street is because one agent can arrest one bad guy in the safety and security of a jail, which is safer for the agent, safer for the alien, and safer for the community. But they want to release them. When they release them, now a whole fugitive ops team, 6 men, need to go find this person. And because of all the hate and the rhetoric from the left and members of Congress, now we got to send a security team to protect the ops team. So now we got 12, 13 people doing the job that would have took one agent into jail. I think they listen to us. They obviously listen to us. We got more jails cooperating than ever before in that state. We got the state cooperation in prisons, and we got the local police, the Minneapolis police, responding to public safety threats.
It's crazy that we have a supremacy clause in the U.S. Constitution that says federal law will always supersede state law. Meaning, for the last 249 years of our nation existing, the federal government was allowed to do what the federal government needed it to do, because that's their job. Anything not designated to the federal government is reserved to the states. Cool. That's a very strong counterbalance where that's at. But the federal law is there for a reason, and the Constitution backs that up at every single level. And Trump has won the majority of Supreme Court cases, saying he does have absolute authority to do what he needs to do under Article 3 or section, I think it's Article 1 of the Constitution or Article 3. Forgot which one. Correct me in the comments. But we need to do it. And these governors in these states, they know if they lose that population, they're going to lose federal funding for the homelessness. They're going to lose money from the state's budget coming out to go towards the health care for these people, along with 1,000 other things and congressional appointments and how many they lose population, they're going to lose congressional seats. So many things tie into this. The Democrats have to die on the Hill. They have to. This is it for them. But Homan's success story in Minnesota sets up the ultimate political choice that Secretary Noem is about to lay out for voters. Let's see. Americans are going to have a choice coming up here. They can choose a Democrats' mass migration and infiltration of criminals, or they can continue to choose President Trump, who's making our country safe again and making it affordable for families. Let's see.
Yeah, it's shocking to me, Sean, to hear them constantly speak on behalf of politics instead of the American people. And Americans are going to have a choice coming up here if they want to choose the Democrats' mass migration and infiltration of criminals, but not just criminals. We have thousands of known and suspected terrorists that the Biden administration let into this country. Or they can continue to choose President Trump, who's making our country safe again, who's making it more affordable for families to get into homes and to buy their groceries and put gas in their car. He's giving them safety back in their communities, and that's what the Department of Homeland Security does every single day. What Democrats have done by defunding this department is put our safety at risk right here on our own soil. We every day protect people in their communities, but also our cybersecurity is all through the Department of Homeland Security. Our Coast Guard is out doing interdictions on the water. We have stopped enough lethal doses of drugs from coming into this country that would have killed 1.7 billion people. That's what the department has done in conjunction with our law enforcement officers in protecting in just the last 12 months. And the Democrats are saying, nope, we want to play politics and we want to risk the lives of Americans.
And that's what the purple-haired, the LBG2B, all the alphabet soup mafia people that are out there, all the people, the crazy hair, the septum piercings, they don't understand that Trump is making their lives safer too. He's not doing it just for conservatives. He's not doing this for the people that are probably going to vote for him. He's doing this equally for every American because he knows that he wants to protect Americans. He doesn't care if you agree with him or not. He wants you to be safe. He wants you to go out there, and if you want to protest, go protest. Do so peacefully. It's your right as an American. It's also your God-given right to be safe inside of the country that you live in. And that's elected officials' first responsibility to anybody that they represent. Protect your people. And anytime that you have these governors like J.B. Pritzker, Tim Walz, and others that would rather release these violent offenders back into society instead of taking them out, look how many repeat offenders got let go and let go and let go because they don't want Trump to deport the people. It's disgusting what they're doing. Trump wants it fair and equitable for everybody and keep them all safe equally. But the truth is crystal clear. Democrats would rather see Americans victimized by criminal aliens and admit Trump was right about immigration. They're not fighting for principles. They're fighting to maintain the chaos that helps keep them politically. This shutdown isn't about funding levels or policy details. It's about whether Americans will choose safety or virtue signaling. So Secretary Kristi Noem put it perfectly. Americans have a choice. We can choose a Democrats' mass migration and infiltration of criminals, or we could choose President Trump, making our country safe again. The Democrats are showing you exactly who they are. Politicians who will hold America's security hostage to protect foreign criminals from deportation, not even American citizens. 6 days of putting criminal aliens above American citizens. 6 days of choosing chaos over safety. And the question isn't whether this is wrong. It's whether you'll remember this betrayal come November. So will you stand with the party that puts America first? If so, let us know in the comments. But check out the Next News merch shop and let everybody know where you stand and wear your Next News gear with pride.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.